Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community, Oceania Hundoke. And today we have with us Mr. Arai, who is offering the presentation. So today is Sunday, the 31st of October, the last day of the month, and the 26th of September in the 9th year of Chongyulguk. Let's begin with a bow to our Heavenly Parents and True Parents, Chariot, Kyombe, Paro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English. Thank you.
참 사랑들을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 6. Our family, the owner of Chongyulguk, pledges to become a family that moves heavenly fortune by embodying the Heavenly Parent and True Parents, and to perfect a family that conveys heaven's blessing to our community by centering on true love. So, I'd like to ask Chihiro if we could offer the opening prayer for us today. Thank you.
Let's pray. Good morning, dearest Heavenly Parent and True Parents of Heaven and Earth, humankind. Today is 31st of October 2021, the last day of this month, October. And we are so grateful we return back to this month, which was full of events, providential events, and with very important providential events, with the inauguration of PCRC, also Chombo Registration Festival, Think Tank 2021, and also True Parents to Mother celebrated this victory celebration to mark the 6 months of True Father Sunwa anniversary. Father, we are so grateful for all the victorious events and foundation that True Parents laid, and this is a time to expand more national level and world level, and also spiritual world. Heavenly Parent, with this great victory, we want to prepare our heart with a newly revived and inspired heart for this coming new month, November. And thank you so much for this morning to attend Oceania Morning Hundoke. Today's talk by Mr. Arai. And we want to open our hearts and prepare our hearts for today. And I offer this prayer and report in the name of Chihiro, Amanda Midorikawa, Blessed family. Adieu.
Adieu. Thank you. Let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Arai as he shares today. Thank you.
Can you hear?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Good morning. Thank you, Treya, Mami, and thank you today, Reverend Taka, John, and also brother, sister, Oceania. Thank you today give me the share second Advent movement in Japan, what happened, and two parents and the completed testament age. When we think about Christian, many people in history and in the world reading second Advent, but didn't happen past 2000 years. Then happened to now. It is incredible. They will enter into two parents the age of complete testament age. Then what we can do, we like to attend, we like to understand ourselves, also we like to inherit. So start today, I like to share, introduce, talk one of the most influential Christian leader in Japan, Mr. Uchimura Kando. He already died 90 years ago. He's one of the spiritual giants. He lived this way: I for Japan, Japan for the world, and the world for Christ, and all for God. He's a person, he lived this way. So Mr. Uchimura faced 3 times large changes in his life. The first major change, he submitted to create a God of Christianity. So he became Christian. So he was released from the superstition. I have been afraid and worshipped many deities in the past. So Japan, there are many Buddhist temple and also Shinto shrine. So this is the one Shinto shrine. I checked at least 88,000 shrine temple Shinto. Then all the one is 1,000 years. So most of people go there, worship and pray and offer and respect, but afraid of many different kind of God. How many? 8 million, can't believe, but so many different kind of God people worshipped many years. So Mr. Uchimura, when he submitted to create a God, my many thoughts unified into one belief. Confusion clean up and direct superstition, and I become the person science. Then what happened to me? I was ordinary Japanese, then received DP from Messiah. So not only God creation, we had human whole and also restoration. When I touched with God's heart, I cried. I changed, kind of conversion. Then his second major change, read it, when he admitted expiation by cross of Christ. My agnosis, I wanted to know how I can be a righteous person in front of God. Then I was told that Arai, behold, just believe. So he received the spiritual voice. In US when he was young, then my heart burden was gone and I was freed. People say anything to him, but he experience. He was body and gone, and I was freed. I think similar to St. Paul experience, when St. Paul was accusing a Christian, also Jesus, but resurrected Jesus appeared to him. He was incredible shock that happened to him, that the truth. Then it changed. So he said, I changed from moralist to religious person, and I don't see the righteousness in my heart, but I see it on Christ on the cross. I think point of view from divine principle. Also, actually, Jesus could not his first mission, but even he went to second mission, he influenced incredible. Then Christian people think that that is the first mission of Jesus. Even though God became Christ, then died for me. This is incredible inspiration to many people, billion people still now. So what is his third major change? Even he admitted God and also experience of the spiritual rebirth. He wasn't sure about second advent of Christ. But some incident happened. He lost his beloved daughter, Lutsuko. Why Lutsuko? He loves book of Ruth, beautiful story of Ruth, meaningful one. Then he gave a name. The daughter Lutsuko helping father, but he got mysterious ill, and even Koryagyu helping, but she died. Before she died, she said, thank you, I go. Then Mr. Uchimura, shocked, but at the funeral, he picked up one soil from ground, then threw away into the sky. He said, Mansei for Lutsuko-san. People surprised. Then he also had a close friend, US, who believed strongly second advent. Then it gradually, then finally, he reached the conclusion, I believe in Advent Christ. Not ordinary, incredible passionately, he believed in the Advent Christ. Then I was given to the key to understand the Bible, which I have been reading 40 years. So I am not through Bible or received divine principle, they believe second advent, but many Christians together with Bible, through the Bible, but not easy to understand Bible, but through the Bible, he reached this conclusion. He was incredible, happy, and then he wanted to start soon second advent movement, but before he organized one very meaningful event. So this is one Martin Luther's 400th anniversary event, 1917, October 31st. Today is October 31st. After Martin Luther Reformation, 100 years, 200 years, 300 years anniversary, but 400 years anniversary is meaningful connected with God providence. So Mr. Uchimura organized in Japan. I don't know what happened in Australia. So Mr. Uchimura was walking towards Tokyo YMCA building in Kanda on 31st October 1917. So Kanda is a very meaningful God's area, God's location, something like that. He was going to give message for the anniversary of Martin Luther's 400 years religious revolution. Then before life, he offered prayer. Before life to a building, dear God, please allow the glory of your presence to tonight. He offered prayer. More than 1,000 people, like here and also here, attended. Then he brought Martin Luther's portrait, it's a photo, which was put in his room. He respected Martin Luther. He said that we'd like to invite Martin Luther. Then said, you are the MC tonight for this event. The title was The Spirit of Religious Revolution. There are many speeches, but I pick out just only one sentence. So when Martin Luther gave a presentation, present 95 seats at the gate of Wittenberg Castle on 31st October 1517. This caused new world, new civilization, new heaven were born. That age, that time, there are many things happening externally, like discovery of new world by Columbus, and the revolution of prints from Wittenberg, and industrial revolution, like England, Europe. But not that external development, new world, new age, or come from spirit of religious revolution, come from God. So Mr. Uchimura insists. And so Martin Luther, I think this one, Reverend John gave a presentation on a Sunday. That's why I skip. But the one sentence, on this day, Martin Luther nailed a sheet of paper with 95 theses on the university chapel door. To do this, it is not easy because he will be killed like Husu. He was burned out. But he had not afraid, more than afraid, he got the spiritual power with. He's experienced spiritual salvation with faith in God and Jesus. It is incredible truth and incredible spiritual salvation he done. So with this, Mr. Uchimura did this incredible Martin Luther's 400 anniversary event, very successful, and he received a lot of confidence, I think, with Martin Luther's spirit and also God's spirit. Then he started Second Advent movement after 2 months. So Mr. Uchimura has strongly believed that this day, that preaching Second Advent of Christ was will of God. He really felt. Then he started speaking to a Second Advent movement on 6th January 1918. Just before, exact 2 years before Father born. At the YMCA Kanda, Tokyo. This is building, YMCA Kanda building. The title was Second Advent View from Bible Study Researcher, one of the top Bible study researcher. So he started Second Advent movement from this day and preached the gospel 50 times all over the Japan. The more than 20,000 people gather, Hokkaido to Okayama, not Kyushu. Then start from here. 2 months before, he organized Martin Luther's 400 years anniversary. There is full of spirit with Martin Luther and God. He started Second Advent movement with a Koryagyu, he's Mr. Uchimura, like that. Nearly 400,000 people gather, not only ordinary people, sometimes people from hospital with bed, lying bed, because atmosphere is healing power. Also, during the speaking, also after that, people cannot say anything. Filled with spirit, such an incredible spirit. Then he is very strongly, really excitingly, is the belief for the Second Advent. However, when he prophesied Christ coming, then he clashed with other Christian leaders. How to come, where to come is the biggest issue. Then held biggest debate in Japan about the returning Lord, Second Advent. This debate was held just before Father born, 6 months. Japan is not so many Christians, not so much big Christian society, but this event is big news, hit all Japan. Then he ceased the campaign. However, he kept his belief for second coming. He described that second coming phenomenon will appear, the most likely 1990, 920. But with that hearing, he died. Actually, second coming happened. Father born from mother. He waiting from sky. He died. But even he died, his contribution connected with Father born through 3.1 Korea independence movement. And before that, 2.8 declaration. 1 month before, I'd like to explain. Mr. Uchimura started preaching for Second Advent on 2 years before Father born, January 6th. He did nearly 1.5 year speaking tour all over Japan. Towards the end of the speaking tour, that time, the Korean students who are staying there in Japan gathered on 8th February 1919. Not easy to gather, impossible, but they gather nearly 200 people at the Korea YMCA Kanda, Tokyo. Then adapted, so 11 people signed the Independent Proclamation Korea. This is very, all of Korean people knows, even school, they want to learn. This is one. Then immediately police raid, 9 people arrested, 2 people escaped to Korea. So this immediately brought in Korea, then communicated to people. Christian leader, Mr. D, and Tendokyo, Heavenly Taoism, Mr. Che. Within a month, spread all over Korea, then caused 3.1 Korea independent movement, called the Samil movement, also monthly demonstrations. They look at the mother's piece, also mother insisted from chapter 1, mother's grandmother, Jo Onmo, attended, going to near market, people gather, quickly pull the Korean flag, which was hidden in her clothes. They waving it vigorously and join the crowd shouting, "Manse, victory for 10,000 years." With all her strength, she shouted, "Korean independence, Manse!" Something more rather than. Together with Devanim. Devanim was that time 6 years old. Doris' mother remember this scene, end of mother's speech. Remember, look, like grandmother John Mo pulled the Korean flag. This time, Chongil flag. We have to wave vigorously to really say Manse to build a Chongil nation. To mother explain that. Then what about the father side? God, preparation for true father. Father explained when such a big war, World War happened that time, 1914, 18, start. Then many people die, sacrificed. Then father said, God start that time, within 3 years, all things had been revealed. I'm not sure this detail. God prepare for others this time. So Korea had been occupied by Japan 35 years. It is an incredible, difficult time. Independent movement had occurred, centered on three-point movement by 33 religious people. They are all arrested in a time. Then 600 locations, 7,000 people die. So such in Korea, some nation, but 600 locations and 7,000 people die. Arrested many and injured many. So it is incredible crying and nations shouting for in the Manse that time, spread all Korea nation. Liu Gansun sacrificed for independence at 16 years old. That is incredible. So during PRL peak independence movement, Trulfaz was involved of his mother. Trulfaz was born on 6 January 1920. After this struggle, after this incredible sacrifice, World War I, so many people died, but also Korea nation, some people died. After that, March 1st plus 10 months, father was born. So just today I focus Mr. Uchimura. So then we received Mr. Uchimura's message from spiritual through the Dr. Lee, through the Mrs. Kim is a medium. Without Mrs. Kim cannot do, without Dr. Lee cannot get. But before touch Mr. Uchimura, just introduce briefly Mrs. Kim. She is a foreign study couple, created Messiah with Kroknik. That's why I come to Australia, Sydney. Greg mentioned the other day. And her mother was guided by grandmother, so Christian family. Then her mother was seriously praying. Jesus appeared with a pillar of fire. Then her mother joined UC. That time was a very difficult time. Received single blessing, and she received 430 cup blessing. So she trained by her mother. Then she started receiving God new message and received more than 100 songs, not easy to believe, but published them as a songbook. Yahoo Go, something. Then she started to regularly receive message from spiritual world around 1979, when Dr. Lee went spiritual world. That was a day when our respected Dr. Lee, very close relation, truly respected relationship. Then he appeared spiritual to me when I was attending to the funeral, Sungwa, shockingly. So I was surprised at that, what happened. Then God said that he is a heavenly person. And he is so excited that he is researching about spiritual world. However, it's hard to receive spiritual message. Also, many times I doubted Dr. Lee. Then Dr. Lee was so angry and said it wounded his pride. So Dr. Lee made historical, providential person in spirit world and reported through Mrs. Kim. So just also talk Dr. D also briefly. 36 couple, and so he is a really complicated, incredible high level of the. He doctor and a lot of issues here. And after receiving 3 days, he solved most of the problem. He was incredibly joyful, and there was dancing, he said. Then he regards to Father, his known person, treasure of wisdom, embodiment, God, science, and Messiah. He was incredible close to Father, and also preached, systematized to Father's word, and so this is important, to Father's word, so then completed victory over communism and unification. So he done a lot of unification sort seminar education for victory over communism, but also organized international conference, many, more than 500 I have. Then he said he could answer any kind of question from DP view and also unification. So except spiritual world. But also he lost his beloved wife 8 years ago, so he has not experienced spiritual world. Then he did a 40-day fasting. He had experienced spiritual world. Then he very strongly write to spiritual theory. As he done unification thoughts, it's very seriously. Then he started, then he prepared, but he could not complete. Then he went to spiritual world, 97 March. So he went to spiritual world, special mission, equipped all DP and also education thought. Then he went with God support. Then incredible, he saw heaven and also hell. Then he reported, but this is a kind of spiritual world theory. I think the comment you can read. They met Jesus, Mary, Joseph, Buddha, Confucius, Mohammed, Adam, Eve. Many people are really incredible. He's visiting this kind of people with incredible prayerful heart. It's really prayer and crying and laugh. It is incredible hard, but it's lots of effort. Then reported through Mrs. Kim. That time she was in Sydney. Then Mrs. Kim said, when finished, Dr. Lee was crying, incredible crying. And sorry. He said, please, before come to spiritual, could you do right things? Then this is also second his important mission. God asked Dr. Lee, prepare for the Lucifer to surrender. This important mission, he received them really checking what is the Lucifer's position, so detailed. Then reported to Father, and finally, Lucifer surrendered. God sent a letter to Lucifer. Lucifer responded. 21st of March 1999. Then appeared to report to Mr. Kim. Dr. Lee said, I come to Arai because she died 69 years old. Then this is my main mission is finished. But he was really cried again. But he really lived what to prepare in the spiritual. So this is the third one. Organized, I don't know who gave a lecture, did the workshop in spiritual, started Christianity 120, then Confucius 120, Buddhist 120 people attended. Then give a report. So among the Christian 120 people, I found Mr. Uchimura, I think only one in Japanese. He attended. On earth, he could not meet Messiah, but he attended DP seminar. Then what happened? So this is his reflection. When I received DP, there are many thoughts with me. It had self-esteem, listening to the lecture from someone Korean, and more heart, because the Messiah appeared from Korea. This is, I can see, I think many Japanese can say, wondered why, wonder why second Advent appear in Korea. The fact that DP don't hold any prejudice against any other religion, he accepted. Then I feel that I tended as a represent Japan. He lived this way. I repent deeply in front of God. Then please forgive the sin of Japanese ancestor. I am as a representative of Japan. I repent to Korean people what Japan has done, and bearable pain in history. All of Japanese people must worship the moon. The second event, could you read it? Could you, this is important. Absolute unity with Buddhism, Japanese thing will be indemnified. Then a conclusion that I have to first change my heart regarding the way I view Korea and Japan relationship. Applied main subject goes to my heart. And we are brother, sister under God. However, it's not easy to overcome, because the barrier is so deep. It must be solved by God principle, and this is last. He say, their level moon, I, Uchimura, accepted and believe that there is God revelation, and I am convinced level moon is the Messiah, to parent of heaven, human being. Also, I believe that he forgave Japanese sin by parent heart. I think that he has been working hard to save Japan, respect that he has been standing at front line for the overcome race, religion, and ideology. I pledge that I like to live as a filial son, courageable, unchanging, like God's love, unchanging God's love principle. I will try to do my best to do an eternal winner through this painful course, 2001. Many, if read 360 reflection, I read some, then everyone say, shocking. Why DP did not receive while I was in on earth? And God is my parent. Also, first time I know. And also they cannot deny DP. Also, everyone respect their Lemon is Messiah, two parents of human being. Then all each reflection different. It's incredible, so deep. I think spiritual also maybe they say it's more 10 times more deep, but not so easy to pick up. Also give to this incredible job. Then what I can do? What I can do? Then what I can do is what I can see. Then I was pray for this letter, what I can see. Then this is my, I can see, my quite, my view. I find out person who attended DP workshop, their reflection, 360 people are all other content is different, but this is same. Rebel Moon is the Messiah of two-parent human being. Everyone 100%, not 99. Everyone say, and but we are in a two parents of complete testament era. So God providence of two parents is I felt is Rebamon and Hakjahan, the Messiah are two parents. But when people, when the spiritual world member, the spiritual world around 1960, before 1960, working with Father. Father met Jesus, cried, North Korea, come back, and also IFA University problem and the persecution established education church 1954, that time. If member go to spiritual, then what he found on us, a relation to Father, go to spiritual. I was with Lebanon, Messiah. But that's true. This reflection true. But this age, already 1990, to Father, give blessing to Mother. Not only Father 14 children spiritually, also as a wife, Victoria, give blessing. And we are same level to parent. And you are the also the second founder, but also 1992 proclaimed the second Advent of Christ we are, then two parent. Then 1993, Mother went speaking tour. Well, this is one. 1993, Mother went walking speaking tour. I checked, it is incredible. Mother went 154 locations, US, Japan, Korea, University, I think, Revan Yutaka involved some. World tour, 40 nations. To Mother came, Sydney, December 17, I checked. Then that's why there are many issues, but the important thing is what we found, age of true parents, true mothers, true fathers, and also true mother. Then not other people, what I really explain in head, then if I go to spiritual, I can testify or not. So this is the issue. So finally, other day prayer meeting, 11 John gave a presentation, and this is one I was looking for. Two parents are in a position having accomplished providence on earth. So August 29, it was about that time in 1960 that I stepped into possession of the mother, because I was only one that could. However, from my perception of the providence, many of the early members seem to have no interest. The only begotten daughter. I could not understand many years. Despite that, I persevered and waited. God accomplished his will unfailingly. He knows no failure. This is why, for sake of heaven, I had no choice but to wait until my time came, 52 years. Finally, I was able to declare Foundation Day. True Mother properly organized Foundation Day. Other day I gave presentation, and the founding era of Chongil, yet making proclamation is not enough. It is to parent responsibility to create environment wherein our even parent can realize a dream or not. This is why I declare that I'm the only daughter. And after Margaret said, I'm only first begotten daughter. After I had done so, although many were agitated to work drew together, divide religion, which provide the way, embrace Muslim. In so doing, I was able to accomplish the feat of restoring 7 religions or 7 nations, and conscient to go out to proclaim from establishment of Chongil. So God providence, father side is cannot do everything. Need mother side. Or mother cannot do everything. The true parent is mother, father's responsibility, and mother's responsibility. But we really try to understand deeply for life. Then when father said before, you said one word for my, painful heart, I cry. But also we find the one word for to mother cry. Thank you. And this is put the photo from I was Hawaii. Mother said, Arai-san, this is the black pearl. I got black pearl from my wife. And we're looking for my wife is I think curved face, attend, tiding. With her, I could survive. Oh, thank you so much.
Wow, thank you, Mr. Arai. Thank you for really sharing with us so many amazing things and deeper understanding of Japanese people. I mean, it really helped me to see really from a Japanese perspective, really so many things. Uchimura, quite an amazing prophet for Japan. The thing that caught me the most during what you said is that you started with the Bible quote, what is bound on earth, and how looking at the life of Uchimura, he really created result. He bound on earth, his legacy to the Japanese people, to really, and also how through also in Japan, they wrote the independence and helped start the independence movement in Korea. I mean, there's really Japan and Korea are connected. And I was just reflecting myself, and I don't know about others, what is our accomplishment? What are we going to bind on this earth before we go? I mean, there's the other part of that same verse is, what do I also loose on earth? What do I also set free? What do I establish and what do I set free? And I could see in that same message from Uchimura that he let go of his superstition, he called it, and he became a scientist. So it came together, the binding and the letting go come together, because you have to recognize that we have to submit, just as Satan had to surrender to God. In a way, we also have to do the same thing. We have to surrender to God, because he was liberated and free when he released himself from all his doubts and burdens, and then was able to build upon that freedom, the real passion to build and attend true parents. So even though he never physically met True Father, he was one of the first to attend, because to attend true parents, you have to really proclaim that true parents are coming, and he's proclaiming that the Messiah is coming now. He wasn't telling people that it's some distant future, but it's coming right now. And we have to let people know that our true mother is here right now, before they all regret that, oh, how come we didn't find out they were alive when we were here at the same time. I remember as a young Christian, thinking of how I'd love to have been living at the time of Christ, and being Greek ancestry, I often fantasize that my relatives were there, and so I felt it. And so, all of these Christians, they would be fantasizing that, I want to be there when Christ's return on the clouds. We just have to tell them, to pick the right cloud. There's so many clouds in the internet. Just pick one, because he's already appearing on every cloud. So, I was just thinking, they go hand in hand, what we bind and what we set free. Okay, so we're actually not much over time. So just one or two people before we finish up. So Jeff, you got your hand up, go ahead.
Yeah, anyway, everything sort of gets tied together. Some pretty amazing content that was shared, just incredible history, and from Japan, really just incredible. At the same time, a great prophet rose up in New Zealand at the time of 1918, and also who brought the Maori and the Europeans together. And the Ratana movement, which we've been connecting with, and at a certain point, he received the inspiration that he must go and find the ancestors of the Maori people. And 12 disciples and others set off with him, and they ended up in Japan. And this is pretty incredible. And then they came back and founded this incredible church group, and thousands of people were healed similarly by this prophet's ability. So there's some amazing connections going on all around the world. Interesting thing, my wife's older sister joined the church, and she was a Lutheran, Japanese Lutheran up in Akita, and she became a Lutheran, and then she was witnessed to, and then joined the church, and then somehow my wife went along and to the church, and then eventually she joined Unification Church. So anyway, some thoughts.
Well, thank you, everyone. That really is past our time. So I'll just share the screen and we can pray together. Okay, let us pray. Jew, Jew, Jew. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. And,
Today, special
thank you.
tribute Dr. E. This is my main point to leave.
Thank you, Mr. Arai.
Thank you so much.
ありがとうございます。
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Mr. Arai.
Thank you.
Yeah,
God bless.
God bless.
Bye.